Hey, this is Ryan from Chelle Rae, and you're at Popularity.
The band has the most creative mind.
Hmm. I think everyone's just a little bit different in the way that they're creative. We're all fairly creative. I think Ian's the most conceptual and visual, and he's more artsy, I suppose. Nash is more. He's very creative, but very calculated kind of creativity, and I'm kind of like somewhere in between the abstract and the analytical creativity side. So how can we make this work or bring something weird out of nowhere type of situation. And Jamie's very cut and dry. So he's not. I'd say that he's not necessarily the least creative, but he's just the most eccentric, I believe. So everyone's really different.
Are there any songs on the album that surprised you?
I think, let's see. I mean, I Like It Like That definitely surprised me. Honestly, actually surprised me because took the longest to write. We actually wrote that song and then ended up flying back up to New York and rewriting the whole song. So I was surprised. I knew it was going to turn out good, but I was surprised that it turned out so good.
Do you still feel like you're the same person that created the songs?
Yes, I always feel like that. Like the creative process and that whole part is honestly, it's probably my favorite part. And it's definitely a different mode than the mode that we're in when we're touring. But I always try to get back to being that person as often as I can.
What's your favorite part of the creative process?
I think my favorite part is when you're writing something and you know it's really, really good, and the people that are around you are as excited as you are, and everyone's just kind of freaking out. That's the coolest part, is when you all know that you're onto something.
Were you ever unsure of the direction that you wanted to take the music in with this album?
Not this album, maybe on the first album, but this record, Nash and I started writing when I just turned 18, and we were writing really, really pop songs for the time, and we kind of got lost somewhere, and we kind of just started doing this more rock thing, and we feel like on this one we really got back to doing what we really love to do, and that's write pop music.
What would you say is the hardest song to create an album?
The hardest song to create? I would say, honestly it was the hardest song to create, because it was the one that we knew was good, but we were uncertain of how it would eventually turn out, and the fact that it took. Actually, I'd take that back. I Like It Like That was the hardest song to create. We wrote that song. We like to say we wrote that song in 1 day and 3 months, because we wrote it in one night, and then we ended up tweaking it for 3 months, and it just by the end of it, we were just singing so many different versions of lyrics, and it was kind of a pain in the ass, but it was worth it.
What about the easiest song? Is there a song that just came out?
There's a song on the record called The Only One, and that song just it wrote itself. It was awesome.
Now, do you guys listen to a lot of different music, or just play a lot of different sounds or experiment with a lot of different sounds to kind of get those new sounds? And
we do mess around with a lot of sounds, but we listen to everything. If it's good, we'll listen to it. So I mean, it doesn't matter if it's polka. I mean, if it's tight, we're gonna listen to it. Good music is good music.
Was there something about the whole creative process this time around that you didn't like, that you'd want to change next time?
Not really. We worked with a few guys that we really, really like out in LA, and I think that the only thing that I would change is I'd work more with this same group that we did, and do our entire next record with them.
What artistic growth do you feel that you experienced throughout the creation process?
I feel like we got, when we were writing songs when we were younger, we'd write 1 out of 10 songs would be what we would call a keeper. And on this album's writing process, I could really tell a difference in my writing skill and Nash's writing skill and the people that we were writing with. It just was everyone was a more concentrated, better version of themselves, and it really, really made it more fun and better and easier to write songs that we love.
Now, when you had the collection of songs, how did you know this is the album?
Everybody was on the same page. I mean, when you have your managers and your label and your band all on the same page for like almost 80% of what was on the record, we knew that we were on to like we were on the right track. And there was a few songs that when it came down to the end, we were like, well, opinions might have differed, but for the most part, we were on the same page, which is very, very rare.
Now, once you decided to go out on tour, what's the thought process like for the set list?
It used to be, well, this is our first headliner, so it was a lot of working out the kinks, and we even made a couple changes after the first couple nights. But, we want to give them something good up front and something good on the back, and try to do something that's a little unexpected. And what we're doing in our set now that we really like is we're doing an acoustic set in the middle of the set, and that's very Nashville. That's where we grew up. That's how we grew up playing songs, and it's like, how do we keep it flowing, but how do we make it personal? How do we make it dancey, and how do we make it real and like let the crowd like kind of get to know us? And I think that we're doing it. So far it seems to be exactly what we hoped for.
What changes did you make? What wasn't working?
We had a song in there. We had a song from our first record called Bushes up in the front of the set. It was like number 4, and we just played it, and we were just like, man, this is not the right song for the slot. It just didn't hit, and when you're up on stage, you can feel it. And so we took it out and put a song called I Like to Dance in there, and after that, it felt like the set really, really flowed.
Mm-hmm. Now, with your growing success and popularity, do you look at life any differently today?
I'm very, very grateful. Every day of my life, it's like pretty crazy. I'm so thankful. Like, a lot of artists don't like doing interviews, and they don't like doing this, and they don't like doing that, and we like doing everything because it's like even just sitting here talking to you, I'm grateful that someone cares enough to want to talk to me about what we're doing. Like, that's really how we look at life, and like, we're stoked. We're happy.
What does music mean to you?
It's like the most loaded question. Everything. It's like if I can't imagine my life without it. Like, I just can't. And that means there would be no fans, and I love my fans so much, and it's just that would be like seriously like not having a heart.
Mm-hmm. Of everyone that you worked on the album with, who taught you the most valuable lesson, and what was it?
Let's see, who taught us the most valuable lesson? I don't know if somebody taught us the most valuable lesson, but my favorite lesson for pop music, and it's just something I love, is don't bore us, get to the chorus.
Would you say that the album is a continuation or a reaction from your last? How do you look at it?
It's kind of I'd say it's a reaction. I mean, I think it's like it's not a continuation. It's really the direction that we wanted to go, and I feel like our second record is almost like our first record to me. It's like this is really who we are and what we love, and you can see where we're going to go, and I think that's cool to be able to follow.
Good music is like an onion because it has many layers to it. What do you think of that?
I think that's very true. I mean, I think that's very true. It's like the great songs that stand the test of time. It's like I find it's weird. Do you remember the band Semisonic? Mm-hmm. You remember Closing Time?
Yeah.
I heard that song the other day, and I've heard that song a million times, and I was just like, it came on, and I was just like, what, this melody is so good. I was like, and then I started just remembering how catchy it was, and how I didn't know how catchy it was when I was younger, but now I can appreciate it. And you're right, it's like an onion. It's like I realized something and heard things in that song that time that I hadn't heard in 10 years, but it still was crazy good, So I agree with that.
Do you think that now, because of the position you're in, that you look at music differently?
Absolutely. You kind of do. No matter what anybody says, anybody who's in a band and is writing music tends to probably be a little bit more jaded than, the average fan. Like, I don't consider myself, I'm a fan of certain things, but like, I'm not, there's a difference between a fan and an artist. And I definitely look at music different. I mean, I try my best not to judge it and just enjoy it, but for the most part, when you write all the time, you kind of hear things and go, I would do this